Good morning. This is Danny Cruz, otherwise known as PinchTune. Welcome to my channel. This is going to be mostly an update to follow up on a couple of my previous videos. So this is mostly going to be for subscribers or anybody that's been watching some of my latest videos. If you haven't and you stumbled upon this update, I'll link to some of the videos that I'm talking about, as some of this stuff might definitely interest you. First of all, right here, I posted a video the other day about the DJI system. It was really a joke. Only half of you guys got it, and a bunch of people gave me thumbs down. Now, I still haven't figured out if the thumbs down were because they didn't like the video, they didn't like what I did, or simply DJI hate. Which, it's the first time I actually post anything about the DJI system anywhere on my channel. So, I've been hearing about all the hate because I read it everywhere, so I was wondering if it's just people that are upset because I'm doing something with DJI or testing DJI or switching to DJI or whatever, but it seems like people did not like it. So let's start with that. In the video, when you watch it, it's very short, it's 1 minute. I am flying in a parking garage and I crash into a jack. It's a parking garage that's being built, so there's like jacks everywhere. And one of the comments that really stood out, and I gotta check if I pinned it or not, but the point is that one guy was like, "Oh, are you serious that you didn't see that? And are you gonna switch to DJI now?" It seemed like it was like adverse, like really, are you gonna switch to DJI? So let's start with a couple of things. It wasn't faked. I did crash into that jack because I did not see it. The reason for it is it's kind of dark. I mean, it was morning, but it's kind of dark inside the parking garage. So it's backlit. So the jack is standing in one of the windows in the middle, and I'm flying around, actually exploring, trying to find my way around, and I want to fly across the whole, the aisle from one end, coming in from one window, going out the other one. So I'm going around in circles and go all the way to one edge, because you can't see the jacks that I know they're there, right? So I go to one window on one side and I see, okay, there's no jack here. So I fly out, fly back in, fly across the hall. I'm expecting the other window on the other side to be exactly like the window I just came in from. And I only see the jack as soon as I'm like a foot from it. And I start turning to get away from it, but it was too late. And I go right smack into it, as you can see here. Now the thing is that I literally could not see it. It's so backlit that all you see is like this glow coming into the window. You know there's a hole there, but you just can't see the jack. I'm flying HDOs with a Predator before, good system, but you just can't see it. And the reason that the whole DJI thing came about is because my buddy Leviathan, linked to his channel in the description, he was flying with me that day, and he was flying DJI and flying just fine inside that parking garage with good reception from across the street, no problems, and he could see everything. So I know there's haters out there, but the fact is that you can see. I don't necessarily think that DJI is the answer to everything, and that HD, at least right now, is not the answer to everything for a number of reasons. The size of the unit, the expanse, the fact that a lot of us already have a bunch of analog quads, and that the analog stuff is still a little bit faster in terms of latency, but there's definitely a place for it. Now, am I going to switch to DJI? Not yet. Am I going to buy the DJI system? Maybe. If I buy it, I'm going to completely switch? I don't think so. I have a lot of analog stuff still that I still like to fly, and I still sort of fly for the GoPro. So oftentimes I forego the good video in terms of FPV feed for good HD footage. And I think that's going to be the case for a while. When you switch to DJI, it becomes more about the flying experience that you can actually see than flying for the GoPro. And a lot of guys don't care for the GoPro. They won't fly for the HD footage except what they can get through the DJI system. So they just forego the weight of the GoPro altogether. That I'm definitely not going to do. I like the cinematic. I like to get this best possible HD footage as I can. So even if I do go DJI, I know I will still be flying a GoPro. I think that's it. Well, that's not it. Point is, like, I run my own business, and I have to watch my expenses, and right now I have to invest in a new computer for the business. I run Macs, which are freaking expensive, so that takes a priority over FPV because of what's I used to pay the bills. So more than likely I will be waiting on DJI simply because I can't see myself dishing out the cash for it at the moment. And if I even do buy it or can afford it or something, because I sell gear or whatever, it'll still be going into 1 or 2 quads at the most, and I'll still be flying analog. Maybe I won't, because I'll be like, oh, this is too good, but I don't know. We'll see. There's, even if DJI releases a new system, updated, will be like at least a year from now. I expect it would be like around the holidays next year or afterwards, who knows. So if I want to jump in, it has to be soon. Otherwise, I would have to wait until, HD2, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, enough of DJI. I hope you guys get it. I hope you guys understand that was just supposed to be a joke. I don't understand why all the thumbs down, but at least it gave me some feedback of what's going on, whether it's that you didn't like my video or just to hate DJI altogether. In fact, tell me in the comments. Tell me what you think. Is it just because I know a lot of guys don't like the fact that they don't like DJI as a company, so maybe everything that gets posted about DJI makes them mad, or it's something else. Just let me know in the comments. I'd like to know what you think, as I really like to know what my subscribers and what the people that are watching my videos really think about what I'm doing, so that I can get out the best content possible for you. Okay, moving on. Black Friday is coming, so you guys are all getting your wallets ready because all the sales and all of the great things coming. I actually scored 6 of these ThunderPower Sugar Rush batteries. These guys have been doing I think it's a 35% off sale every Black Friday. So you guys see me fly a lot of adrenaline packs from ThunderPower. I don't like to pay full price, so I usually buy them around this time when they're on sale. And usually I've gotten them at 35% off. So the fact that 2 or 3 weeks ago they did a 40% off sale was outstanding, and even more so because these are like last year's packs. So they had them $10 off from what they usually have them. So I think I paid like $21 shipped and everything for these packs, which are 5S. These are 1500, but they're 1500. These are 1500 HV, and different companies run the numbering a little bit different. Some of them are HV. Well, the point is that these are actually, if you charge them at regular voltage, they're actually 1300s. They're the exact same size as the Adrenaline 1300s. If you charge them to HV, 4.35, then they become 1500s because you put more juice into them. And if you charge them normally, which is what I do, they're just 1300s, 1300 5S. And the reason I got these is because normally I don't believe there's a different composition for HV, and as far as a chemical. Maybe there is, I don't know, but the point is that I found them to be the same. It's just better quality cells, and they seem to last a long time. I don't charge HV because even HV batteries tend to decompose a lot quicker. So yeah, just normal charge and great price. Now check out, because that sale ended, so I'm sure they'll do something else for Black Friday. Go ahead and check out the older models too, because they need to clear them out, and they're great prices. I think these were originally $40. And if you got them, like I bought some last year with a 35% off sale, I think I paid around $29 or $30 for them. But now that they're 31, with the 35 or 40% off, you can get them for around 20. They have these, and they'll have the Adrenalines from last year as well. You'll see that the current year models, I think they're 1340 milliamp hours, and they are about $40, I think, or something like that. So 5S and 6S. Moving on. Okay, so about voltage, 5S, 6S, 4S. I'll tell you, I'm pretty much done with 4S. I was still flying a lot of 4S stuff, mainly because I still had a lot of gear left over. And sometimes you spend so much time fixing stuff because, you break your gear. So even if you have a 4S quad that you don't like that much, it's still better than not flying, because the best tool for getting better at flying is flying. The second best tool will be a simulator, and I find that even in a simulator flies worse no matter what. So I'd rather fly a 4S quad than fly a simulator. But I'm kind of fed up with 4S, to be honest. It's just, it flies great, and there's no reason to not fly 4S, except for my style, where I do this a lot of like really immediate direction changes that are really like stop in midair and go. When you go in a certain direction, you sort of stop midair, you turn around, and you want that stop to be immediately. The response that you get from a 5S or 6S quad is way better than that of a 4S quad. And that is the main reason why. It isn't speed, it isn't the actual power, it's that feel, that response, that immediate response that you get with high voltage that you just don't get with 4S. For that reason, I've been flying this, so a lot of you guys know that my main rig, at least for right now, is a Hyperlow RS Plus 5S. I also have a 6S version of this guy. But I've always had a soft spot for Impulse RC, so I like to keep some Impulse RC rigs in my fleet at all times. I haven't ordered the Apex yet, but I hopefully will soon. But anyway, this is my 4S Reverb. I actually have two of these that I built to be identical. And they have T-Moto F40 Pro 2 2400. It's a light quad when it's all built up with the battery and everything on top at 1300. Actually adrenaline. It's about 605 to 610 grams, so it's really the sweet spot of weight. But I'm actually gonna sell it. I'm gonna sell this guy, which you can see is in good shape, and the other one barely has any flights on it. And the reason is I've been building enough of the other quads that for 5S and 6S that I can still keep myself in the air even if I break one. So I'm finding myself not wanting to fly the 4S stuff anymore. If you fly 4S, something like this might be great for you, or if you're just starting out, then of course. There's a lot of people that like to go in with bind and flies for $100 or $200, and yeah, well, this may be like $300. It's just not the same. A custom built quad, this is KISS V1, is always going to be better and fly better than a lot of the bind and fly stuff that's coming from China. It's just the way it is. I mean, there's a couple companies like Armatan that are doing bind and flies. Rotor Riot is offering some bind and flies now where to build them at their location. But when you can build them yourself is the best, and the fact that I'm very particular about how I build them, there's no way that any of these companies is putting the amount of effort and experience probably, but the amount of effort and time into their builds as I'm putting on mine. You guys have been flying, that's been following me for a long time on my Instagram channel, know that I've really made a name for myself in building, hopefully in flying too, but in building. You know, I clean all my parts with flux remover. I don't like to see any flux on my builds. My solder joints are excellent, and then I conformal coat just about everything. So a quad that I build is always waterproof. But I don't build for other people, I build for myself. I just don't have the time. So when I offer a build for sale, they usually go out pretty well because people like the build quality. Okay, so moving on. Another follow-up to a previous video. Again, I'll put it here. It is a video about when I said I lost my quad in Mexico, but I nearly lost my quad. It was my long-range quad, one of them, flying with my buddy Kyle. And the reason for that crash, originally I thought I had hit a power line or one of the guy wires that go to on a power post. But upon closer inspection, and a couple guys that flown that spot before told me, no, you definitely did not hit power lines. So I concluded that I actually had broken a prop. And the props I was flying were the Azure 6145 BSP. I posted that video. I had a bunch of guys comment on it. Check out the comments. I posted a video on Facebook and Instagram, and there were a bunch of comments there. So I concluded after all the comments, all the reading, and all the research, that the reason the prop just snapped in midair, mind you, it was a new prop, all those props were new, was because they were over-tightened. Now, what is over-tightening? Now, that's up for debate. See, I race too. And when it comes to racing, I really make my props real tight. And the reason for that is because I fly all, clockwise motors. And if I clip a gate, I don't want the prop to get loose. So I've always, for the last 5 years that I've been flying, I always tighten my props real tight. So apparently these props tend to snap at the hub if you make them real tight. Makes me think, let's say it's partially my fault because I made them too tight. I'm sure a lot of you guys will agree with that. However, if none of my other props are snapping at the hub by making them tight, should this be snapping at the hub? No, I don't believe so. I believe there's a problem. Maybe it's just a batch, I don't know. But it happened to my buddy. I don't know how much he tightens his props, flying these props. And it's happened to me more than once where these props snap. And the fact that I'm flying them long range does not make me happy, because the last thing I want to do is have an incident like that other day where the prop just breaks midair and I lose my quad. I know a lot of you guys are going to disagree with me. You're going to be like, oh, no, make him tight. I'm like, well, I mean, if I'm flying around and I clip a branch long range, I don't want the prop to get loose. I want it to be tight. And I'm tightening them exactly as I do all my race quads. So if my props or my other props are not snapping, even if I hit gates and stuff, why do these snap? I don't know. So there's a couple solutions I have. I'm going to try these Flash 7043. These come in 7-inch and also in 6-inch. And I'll try them both. These are from GemFan. And I believe T-Motor has a version very similar to this as well. I already heard that some people have broken these. The hub is like the Flash hub, which is a little bit narrow but pretty high. So hopefully these will not do that. I'll test, mid-range, or at least in an area where I can retrieve my quad to see if they break or not before I venture off too far. But I already hear some stories that these will snap too. Maybe it's just something that has to do with the extra torque on the larger props, of course, because there's a lot more force on the blades because they're bigger. But I also had a couple of guys trying to teach me math about why I'm doing it wrong, why they're breaking, and my KV. I'm like, listen, dude, I'm flying a 2150 motor on 5S and a 2450 motor on 5S, something that people have done for a long time. It is not too much. Not only that, if the KV is higher, like around 2450, which is high for 5S, if you're hitting full throttle and you're hitting those high RPMs, yes, I understand. But I'm cruising at 30%, 40%, 50% throttle at the most, and during that flight, I never went above 60% at all, ever. So that is not the reason why they're snapping, period. Plus, on 2150 kV, they shouldn't be snapping, period. So there's another solution that I'm considering. This BSP prop now also comes in carbon composite. Yeah, so it's not carbon fiber, it's like a carbon composite, which supposedly makes them stronger. They're about twice the price. I think it's $7 for the set, give or take. I'm happy to pay more for a carbon fiber prop even, because when it comes to long range, I don't go around crashing. So my a set of props could last me a long time, because it's not like my freestyle racing props where I'm crashing into stuff all the time. For long range, I need a prop that's reliable, stiff. It's important. Flies really cleanly and really well, but most importantly, that's reliable. You're constantly making these builds where you don't want them. Your wire needs to be perfect. Your batteries need to be good. You're checking your GPS. You're testing all these things to make sure you don't lose a quad midair in a long-range flight. The last thing you need to worry about is the props. So I'm gonna order some of those too as well to test them out. I'll see what's out on the market right now as far as carbon goes. Something that will definitely hold up to long-range flights on bigger blades. If you know of a prop that I should check out, please let me know in the comments. I'd like to know and check it out, even if it's a full carbon prop. Like I said, if I go on a freestyle session and I break 3 sets of props, that is more than $10. If I go out on a long-range flight and I pay $8, $9, $10 for a set, that set could actually last me the entire session. And plus, it can save a $500, $700 rig, with a GoPro on it. So that's, come on, it's a no-brainer. I'd rather spend the money on good props. Okay, I think that is it. Yeah, the last thing I can mention, when I mentioned I'm still flying the Hyperlow RS Plus on 5S. I have a couple of these sets of motors, which is my favorite motor. Again, link in the description to a video about my favorite motor, which is its T-Motor F40 Pro 2 2150. I've gravitated between 2306, which is what this is, and 2207 a bunch of times. I like them both for different reasons, but I like the efficiency of a 2306 since the 2207 is oftentimes a lot more power hungry. I'm still flying mostly Flight 1 on this thing. I'm just very happy with Falco X, the way it flies. It isn't always the easiest to set up. I mean, it is the easiest to set up, but it isn't always the easiest to get it flying like I want it to fly. Whatever everybody else tells you. But when you do get it set up right, it's just amazing. I love it. So I'll keep flying it for quite a while for the time being. And a lot of you guys know I fly KISS, I fly Betaflight, I fly Flight 1. I like to know what's out there and be able to compare. And the only reason to actually know it is to compare all three. Alright guys, thanks for sticking all the way to the end. Please thumbs up to this video, like it. If you watch any of the other videos that I'm recommending out of this one, go ahead and thumbs those up as well. The channel's doing great. By the way, I am back into the partnership program. The numbers are up thanks to you guys. So even though I'm not looking to make a living out of this, it is nice to see the numbers go up. It's motivating and makes me want to keep doing more videos. So thank you for that. It seems like still FPV pilots do not really like to subscribe to other channels for some reason. I'm looking at my analytics and it seems like 60% of the watchers, the viewers, are still non-subscribers. So come on, go ahead and subscribe. I think that's it for now. If you have anything that you're interested in that you want me to do a video about or talk about, I have a couple things that are coming up over the holidays specifically. So yeah, just go ahead and let me know in the comments something that you might be interested in. I'm also going to do a few Q&As and things like that. So again, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.